Hi everyone, how are you? This is Monica Shimonik here with Moms Unshackled. And what I do is I work one-on-one with moms to help them build their own healing systems and their own empowerment systems while they're in the family court. Now, these are the moms who are fighting for justice. They're fighting for equal rights in the family court. They're not fighting for sole custody. I don't work with moms who are out to remove the child from the other parent. I work with moms who have the deck stacked against them in court. They're about to lose their rights to their child. They fear that they're going to lose, or they have already lost rights to their child. So I help them develop their own identity around being a warrior mother, okay, like a warrior mindset, activist mindset, but I also help them build their own empowerment systems. So I've had a very, very, very difficult day so far, but because my court orders are going to be delivered in 17 minutes. These are orders from the appellate court. I opened, okay, my son was taken from me 10 years ago. I fought for equal rights, equal justice, or equal access to him. I'm not going to be speaking clearly in this live stream, so I hope that you can read between the lines and still get the message, because this is going to be a very important live stream. Like this is powerful. Okay, any parent who's in the family court should be watching this. Mom, dad, I don't care what gender you are. Even though I work one-on-one with moms, dads watch my videos. They're applicable to all parents because we're all equal. Okay. So anyway, it's been a very difficult day because like I said, my son was taken from me 10 years ago by the family court system. And I went, so he was taken in 2010, and in 2013 I reopened my case and I said, I want my son back. And my mistake at that time, it's not really a mistake because we all have to learn. This is part of the process. We have to make mistakes so that we can understand what's really happening. So 2013, I went back, I reopened my case. I said, I want my son back. Okay. And what I did, the basis that I used to fight for my son in 2013 was I fixed the problems that the judge thought I had. So one thing the judge said in 2010 was, you're not stable because you have a massage therapy license, and that's not stable. We don't like that. And they didn't like that I had a nutrition degree and I wasn't a nutritionist. So now the other things that were, my journals from college were read out loud in the courtroom. I have a very unique writing style. I wrote a book. The judge didn't like how I wrote in my journals, so I decided to write a book about the corrupt family court system. So screw you, judge. Anyway, that was Judge Jose Suarez. He's still on the bench. He proceeded to take my two stepsons away from us as well. So in our family, we have 3 children that were taken away from us, all by the same judge. So Jose Suarez, congratulations. I think you are the first judge in history to take 3 children away from a home with 2 separate court cases. Okay, it's not like 3 children all in the same docket. It's like 2 different dockets, 2 different courthouses, 2 different jurisdictions, and you have proceeded to take 3 boys away from 2 fit parents in a 7-year period. So I think that that's a world record, and you deserve a lot of negative karma in your life. And you are a father now, Jose Suarez, if you're watching. I know that you had a baby, and I have a lot of mercy for you and your child. I would not wish this on your precious innocent child, but just imagine for 5 minutes of your life what it might be like to have your son taken away. So if Jose Suarez is on social media, please tag him. He lives in Cheshire or Chester, one of those 2 towns in Connecticut. Anyway, little random anger. This is going to be a very unstructured live stream because I'm going through a lot today. Okay, so 2013, I went back and I said, I want my son back. And I predicated my basis on, hey guys, I'm now a stable person. I have a stable job. So I had record, like employment records to show that I was employed. And I thought that that would actually get me my child back, because that was the original reason. And then the judge said no, because my son has autism and autistic kids shouldn't have two parents and all this other stuff. I lived 13 miles away from my son's father, and the judge said that's not good for autistic kids. So what we're doing now in my case is it's going into violations of the American with Disabilities Act, because when you deprive a child of a parent because that child is disabled, that is a massive ADA violation. So I'm also an ADA advocate. I did the training for ADA advocacy. So I go to court with parents in Connecticut, and I serve as their ADA advocate, but that's a whole nother live stream. So ADA territory, now it's no longer like a best interest of the child. Now it's like, you're discriminating against my child for having a disability, and that's wrong. But, and again, 2013, I didn't know my rights. I didn't know anything about the Constitution. I didn't know a single thing about the ADA, so I didn't appeal. I did not appeal in 2013. 2015, I go back to court and I say, I want my child back. But this time I knew my rights under the First Amendment, the 14th Amendment. I knew my rights I knew my son's rights under the American with Disabilities Act. I knew my rights under the American with Disabilities Act, because when you're a caretaker, when you are a parent of a child, like a guardian of a child with disability, those rights extend to you. And you also can't be punished for advocating for a disabled person. That is against the retaliation clause of the Section 504. So there's a whole, I'm not like a super legal expert, but my brief says it all. This is my appeal brief. This is this is what's going to be decided today in 11 minutes now. So let me get back to this. So 2015, I knew my rights. I fought for my rights. In the trial court, I fought for my rights. Now, what most parents do, and this is so sad to me, this hurts me to my core, the biggest casualty in this whole thing is parents not preserving their court record. When parents go to court, they throw best interest of the child at the judge. They cross their fingers, and I call it like chasing the unicorns. You're hoping for that unicorn judge that will make the best interest determination. And those judges are so few and far between. Typically ethical judges will not practice in family law. They'll go into like criminal law or like civil rights law, or civil court. So anyway, I'm gonna try to stay on topic today. So I knew my rights. I used my rights in the trial court. I spoke about my rights in the trial court. I asserted them on the stand. I asserted them in my pleadings. I asserted them in my affidavits. I put my rights on the record in the trial court. What parents usually do is they hope the judge makes the best interest determination, and if the judge doesn't, then the parents will apply their rights. And the reason the parents are applying their rights after the fact is because they're afraid of retaliation if they apply their rights before the fact. Because what they're doing, and actually I had a client just tell me this like a week ago. She said something like, I can't be negative. I have to hope and be positive that the judge will act in my child's best interest. And I said, well, why don't you use your rights? Her child's disabled. I said, use the rights under the American with Disabilities Act. That will keep your child from being discriminated against and being taken from you because he's disabled. And she said, no, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna meditate. I'm gonna ask for guidance. I'm gonna ask for divine intervention, which is beautiful. That's great work, but you still need to have that solid structure. I do believe in asking for divine guidance. I do that too. But you still have to apply your rights. You still have to do the mechanical work in your case. You have to put your rights on the record early on. And the best way to do that is to invest in a membership with fixedfamilycourts.com. That's where I learned everything. The American with Disabilities Act laws and rights, I learned that through Karen Huffer, who unfortunately, I believe, passed a year ago today. So let's have some space for Karen Huffer, who I think it was October 27th of 2018 she passed. But her work is sensational. Everybody should use the American with Disabilities Act in their case. If you have PTSD because of family court abuse, if you are suffering from family court abuse, government abuse, had your child taken away, you have rights under the American with Disabilities Act. If you are being accused of being crazy by your ex, if you're being accused of being angry, have anger problems. A lot of men I find are being accused of being like having anger issues, if being bipolar, you know, any sort of accusation by your former wife that you have anger problems. And if you're a woman, if you're getting accusations from your former husband that you're crazy, automatically you have rights under the American with Disabilities Act, whether you are actually have those ailments or not. Okay, the American with Disabilities Act covers you whether you actually have the disability or not, which is beautiful. This is a beautiful law. Embrace it. It's there for a reason. Guys, listen, the Constitution is there for us. It was written to protect us from government. So when parents are afraid to use the life preserver, when the parents are afraid to use the life preserver because they're afraid of pissing off the captain, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, would you not put on a life preserver if the ship was sinking because you don't want to offend the captain? You don't want, oh, I want the captain's in charge. You know, if I put on a life preserver, that's going to piss off the captain because the captain's going to think that I don't trust the system, you know, or the captain's going to think I'm overriding his authority. Put on your life preserver. The Constitution is there for a reason. The First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, and the 14th Amendment are brilliantly intertwined in family law if you allow it to be. And Ron and Sherry Palmer have figured out how to do that. They have a motion called the pre-trial framing motion. I cannot stress how freaking important that is. The only reason I have this, the only reason I was able to write this is because I put that motion in. Okay, at that time they called it a motion for declaratory judgment. That's in my record. It's a whole nother live stream. Go to YouTube and look that up if you want. Declaratory judgment. It's very powerful, but also their pre-trial framing motion is powerful. Be a member on their site. Do not even think about setting foot in family court if you don't have a clue of what your rights are, and don't count on your attorney to do that for you. And that's what I did. I did not count on an attorney this time in 2015 when I went back the third time. Okay, so again, I failed in 2010. I didn't use my rights in 2010. I didn't know I had those rights. I didn't use my rights in 2013. I used my rights in 2015. Okay, so long story short, I used my rights. The judge said, screw you, and she ruled against me. Okay, and I was also sanctioned $3,500, which I also appealed. Whole nother live stream. So I appealed, and I said the state does not have the right to cut me off from my child on the basis of my marital status to the other parent. This is what I learned from the Palmers. Okay, the state doesn't have the right to diminish my role in my son's life as a fit parent simply because my son's father and I are no longer romantically connected. Okay, so that was the basis of my appeal. I appealed violations of the American with Disabilities Act. I appealed because I was sanctioned. I said that sanctioning me for advocating for my disabled son was a violation of the retaliatory clause in the section 504. I believe I put that in there. I said a lot of things. And here's another thing. Ron and Sherry cover this. There's something called ex post facto punishment. Huge. It's huge in family law. It's massive. Okay. If you don't know much about ex post facto punishment, go to fixedfamilycourts.com, but I'll give you a summary. This is what judges do. And I put this in my brief, which is great. Okay, this is going to be a two-part live stream because my daughter's getting off the bus and she ruins all my live streams, but this is good. This is going to be a two-part live stream because she's going to be coming home. Whew, okay. Ex post facto punishment. You are a married parent. You work nights, okay? You're a waitress. I was a waitress. Perfect, right? I was a waitress when my son was a baby. Because I was a waitress, I didn't put him to bed 5 nights out of the 7 nights a week because I worked at night. I was home with him during the day. He got all the childcare and the special ed services and everything, the birth to 3 system. I oversaw all that during the day. Dad took care of, my former partner took care of him at night. The judge, what the judges do is they say, well, this parent didn't put the child to bed enough, and that's why the parent will lose. The judge will say the judge will basically punish you for the parenting choices that you made. Now, this is where ex post facto punishment comes in. Ex post facto punishment is when it's legal. It's legal to work 5 nights a week out of your home. It's legal to not put your child to bed at night. No one's going to judge you for no one's going to judge you for not putting your child to bed 5 nights a week. No one's going to judge you for being a flight attendant and being gone for 3 or 4 days at a time, okay, and then being home for 3 days. No one's going to judge you for being a nurse. Nurses are losing freaking custody of their kids all the time because they work those 3 12-hour shifts. No one's going to punish you for that in the real world. Family court comes, and now you are the losing parent. You now have every other weekend parenting time with your child. You now are going 26 days a month without your child. And that's ex post facto punishment, because the judge applies behavior that you did during the marriage that was legal and not an issue, and then they use that to punish you. So for me, it's legal. For me, I didn't finish my nutrition degree. I never got my license. Okay, I just got the degree, no license. It's legal to not get your nutrition license. Okay, as far as I know, it's not illegal to not get a dietitian license. When a judge says, well, you never got your license, so you're not stable, you don't have any job prospects, you're never going to whatever. Okay, you don't know how to finish. I think they faulted me for not being able to finish what I start, something like that. And it shows like my level of commitment, and how can I commit to my child if I can't commit to my education? Really? So it's legal to not finish your education. It's legal to not have an education. It's legal to be not that smart. Okay, if you have a low IQ, that's legal. Okay, parents are losing their kids because they submit to psych evals and they find out that they have like I don't know, 80 IQ, whatever, not good enough IQ, and the judge will take the child away on that basis. But that's legal. So that's what I mean by ex post facto punishment. Ron and Sherry explain it way better than I am, but I applied that in my case. And so anyway, so now my decision is coming in, okay, like 2 minutes, and it's going to tell me if this was successful. And so this is the thing. This is where the junk starts to come in for us. This is where all of our mess and our baggage and our feelings and our karma and our what happens when we appeal, when we go through all this and we finally get our court orders in the mail. A lot of stuff comes up. I've been messed up all day today because of this. Okay, before you read your court orders, whether it's a regular court order from the trial court, whether it's an appellate decision, whether it's a Supreme Court decision, even if you're waiting on like a GAL report. I don't agree with GALs, that's another live stream. If you're waiting on something, you know it's coming in and you know it's going to have a very impactful, a huge impact on your life, you have to be cautious. You have to proceed with caution. You don't want to don't be like me. Don't stand by your mailbox, rip the freaking court orders open in your driveway and have a heart attack. You know, I didn't have a heart attack, but I have carelessly opened court orders in the past. I have opened court orders on my way to work. I was a massage therapist full-time for a while. And I remember one time I read court orders on my way to work, like a red light, you know, tear open my court orders, and I skimmed to the bottom to find out if my son was going to be returned. You can't, how are you going to function the rest of the day when you just exposed yourself to such toxicity and bad karma? Okay. So you have to proceed with caution when you get court orders in the mail. Be kind to yourself, be loving to yourself, and appreciate the depth of how much this can hurt. Okay. Don't be careless. You are worth taking care of yourself around this. Okay. There's a lot of self-care that has to go into this. So don't do that. And tell your attorney not to contact you with the decision until you're ready. Okay. I have a client, she was on Facebook chilling out, you know, like she was drinking tea, she was listening to music, she was just loving life. Her attorney sends her an instant message on Facebook, you lost. Okay. Completely derailed her. Okay. Tell your attorney, create that safe boundary around the toxicity of the court. Okay. Don't invite toxicity into your life until you're ready, until you have protected your bubble first. Okay. So protect your bubble first. Okay. Now, fortunately for me, for the past 3 months, I have given up alcohol. I've given up junk food. I've stopped doing so many things, and I have been working on my health so much. I've lost 10 pounds. I exercise almost every day. Like, so I'm feeling good. Okay. So I'm so grateful that I have that foundation, because I'm about to expose myself to toxicity, because this is the thing, you can't count on winning. Okay. I hate to be like a Debbie Downer, but I have seen so many parents lose, you know, lose fraud cases, lose perjury cases, you lose retaliation and discrimination cases, okay? Because the family courts are corrupt at their core, okay? That's another live stream. So this is the thing. You have to do some exercises before you can open your court orders, okay? You have to stretch, not stretch your body. Well, stretch your body, but you have to stretch internally, okay? Stretch to bringing in some self-care and some self-love into your life right now. If you don't have any self-love, which most of you don't, because the government is telling you that you're a piece of crap, their government's not letting you have your own child, so of course it's going to attack you at your core. It's going to impact your self-esteem, and you have to work to recover from that. You can't just like, I have clients that are like, I'll heal when the judge leaves the bench. It's like, no, that's not what healing is, okay? That's not what healing is. You have to heal your body and your mind and your soul, okay? So here's some steps I'm going to give you. Create your own recipe. That's what I work with when moms work with me personally. We create their own little recipe. This is my recipe. I have a lot of recipes, but today this is my recipe. So this is what I'm going to be doing today. I have not done any of my healing yet, so I'm not going to open my court orders. I might not open them today at all. Okay. So I'm going to be shutting down social media today. I'm going to shut off my phone. I'm not going to engage with the public today because I don't want people messaging me saying, oh my God, Monica, I can't believe you lost, because I'm not going to be ready for that. So if I shut down social media, if I ignore all you, it's not personal. It's just me doing my healing. So this is what I'm going to be doing today. This is my recipe today. Be flexible. Do what works for you. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to say to myself, what can I be grateful for? Where can I be grateful? Well, I'm grateful for my health. Okay. I'm grateful for the fact that I have the internet. The internet is freaking amazing for something like this. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if I was in this situation, and there was a lot of dads who were, because this has been a father assault for 40 years before mom started getting hit as well, they were all alone. Okay, so be grateful I'm grateful for the internet. I'm grateful that I get to share this with you. I'm grateful that we have a community of thousands of parents coming together, and the collective knowledge of the corruption is really like being elevated. All right, a lot of that is due to what Ron and Sherry are doing, but there's 100 other advocates out there that are really helping our cause, and they're so freaking powerful. And so what I do in my personal work is I help moms get better in here, clear out all their karma and their baggage and their drama from the family court, so that they can actually become activists and raise that level of awareness and the consciousness, because these people aren't going to win. Like, these people have been taking kids away from parents for 50 years. I'm sure they had a lot of fun with that, but that's not going to continue. That's going to end. And we are raising that level of awareness, but we have to be healthy first. You cannot be a messed up, traumatized activist, okay? Because you know what that looks like? That's when the people sleep outside on the steps and get arrested, and and so there's some value to that. Like, I don't have a problem with getting arrested. I almost got arrested, pregnant. A whole nother live stream, but I'm not against all that. It's just that you have to be healthy first. Okay, it has to come from a place of health and love and self-love if you're going to do something like that. I mean, I know damn well I would not put it past me if I slept in a tent outside of the courthouse. That I would absolutely do that. I love camping also, so that it kind of works. But camping in Hartford. So so what can I be grateful for? This is what I'm grateful for, guys. I'm grateful for this. This was the hardest thing I've ever done. I still can't believe I did this. I am so freaking proud of this brief. I don't even care. So this is what makes me not care if I lose, because the more grateful you get, the less the loss is going to impact you. Okay. So my daughter's home. So let's see how much longer I could talk. The more you become grateful, the less the impact will be on your heart, your solar plexus chakra, which we're going to get into in a minute. Whew, okay, this is not an easy day for me. I've been really like, so grateful, okay, because I put so much into this. I'm grateful for my brain. I'm grateful that I was able to type this thing, and I'm grateful that I had the resources to do this. I could not have done this without the internet. The internet is like our best tool, guys. Okay, in my workshop, which is tomorrow, we use the internet to connect with our alienated children. Okay, that's a whole nother live stream. So this is the thing. This is so important. Okay, and I'm hoping that my daughter allows me to do this exercise. Gratitude. Okay, again, gratitude. You cannot have enough gratitude. That is the remedy to your pain and suffering. Hi, Lovey. So, okay. So gratitude will heal you. Okay. It's sometimes that's all we have left. Okay. When your children are alienated, when you're being sanctioned and broke and you're about to lose your home and you're losing your health and you're losing everything, your friends, your parents don't want to talk to you anymore. My mom cut me off for like 4 months during my litigation because she couldn't take the drama I was unloading on her every day. I was like, Mom, the evaluator hates me. Mom, they lied in court today. I don't know what to do. Help. And my mom she said she couldn't deal with it anymore. She's like, Monica, you're draining me. And I was so mad at her for that. But all she was doing was maintaining her own boundaries. So again, we can't count on our parents all the time. We can't count on our friends. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay if your friends don't want to talk to you. It's a freaking messy thing, you know? And it's like we get into victim mentality because of the way the court treats us. The court positions us that way. So we become victims. We become very draining to our friends and our community. We become non-functional at work. So when you're losing so much, okay, every system that you're involved with in your life is flipped over upside down. The only thing that you can come back to is gratitude. You are always going to have something to be grateful about. When my 13-year-old son complains about something, the son that was taken away from me, he complains a lot. He's kind of a grouch. he'll complain about something. I'll be like, Elias, you know, we live in North America and we are middle class, and you're already better than like 97% of the planet. I'll say stuff like that. And he's like, oh, okay. And he like, you know, he's very conscious. I have a very conscious and aware child. I'm able to speak to him at that level because he gets it. But anyway, that's another live stream. So we're going to be, yes, gratitude is so important. And when you have gratitude, you're going to feel it like right here. It's going to be like a Band-Aid or like you're going to feel stuff diminish. Okay. Sadie, can you turn that down? It's too loud. Okay. So we're going to do a little exercise. This is so important. You all should do this if you have a court date coming up in the future. If you are awaiting court orders in the mail, and it could come any day, before you tear that envelope open, do this exercise. Okay, go back and find this live stream. Be like, oh my God, when did Monica make that live stream? Watch this. If you are in court and you have court coming up a week, 2 weeks, tomorrow, and if you're going to be doing my workshop tomorrow with me, I was going to do another live stream on how to prepare for the workshop. And then this crap came up with my appeals decision coming in, and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to do an appeal decision live stream. But these exercises are very intertwined. So if you have my workshop tomorrow, do this exercise today. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're in court or not or whatever. What you're going to do is you're going to cleanse your chakras. Okay, now listen, if you don't believe in all this chakra blah blah blah, listen anyway, because in 2011 I did not believe in any of this stuff. And just for fun, I let a friend of mine help me with chakra healing. And it was like one of the most amazing things I've ever done. And I was so grateful. Incredible. So she's a Reiki master and she worked with my chakras. She cleared up my throat chakra. I didn't even know what a throat chakra was. She's like, oh, that's your throat chakra. And I'm like, what the hell is a chakra? So if you're not into this chakra stuff, just listen anyway. Okay. Just humor me and just listen. Okay. Because it might work for you. Right? What are you going to do? You're going to turn this off and like watch Netflix? Like, just pay attention. I'm yelling at you now. So we're going to be doing some chakra cleansing right now. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to think about your court situation and think about, okay, so pay attention to your body right now. When you think about going back to court, or you think about your court orders coming in the mail, what is the first thing that comes up for you? If it's fear, where in your body are you feeling that fear? Are you feeling it in your head? Are you getting racing thoughts? Are you feeling hopeless, defeated? So are you feeling up here? Are you getting the monkey mind working? Like, is the monkey mind like, oh, the system's corrupt? Like, are you getting intrusive thoughts? Are you getting racing thoughts? Headaches? Lack of focus, confusion? Are you buzzing? Are you pacing around your house, not able to find your keys to get to work. Okay, stuff up here, if you're feeling it primarily up here, that means that the third eye and the crown chakra are being impacted. Okay, so we're going to get to that in a minute. Other things that, and this is, I feel like this is mostly a female thing. For me, when I was in court, the first 4 or 5 years, my issues were in my throat chakra. When you're having issues in your throat chakra, it's because, okay, if you're feeling the limitations or the constrictions in your throat, it's probably because you didn't get your full voice out in the court. You didn't feel heard. You wanted to say things in court and you didn't because the attorney told you not to speak. You wanted to object to something in court. The judge told you to not talk. And you walked out of court. I wish I had said that. I wish I had said that. I wish I had said that. When your ex abuses you, do you feel like you can't speak? Like, do you feel like if I defend myself, the court's going to hold that against me? So I can't speak my truth. I can't defend myself. I can't get a word in. For me, for my ex, every time I try to reason with him, I don't talk to my ex anymore, but for the first 5 years, what you do is the court forces you into co-parenting therapy. And so you want to speak, you want to get your truth out there. And oftentimes the narcissistic parent will talk over you and get all the attention from the therapist. So that's another live stream. But again, for the first 3 or 4 years, my throat chakra severely closed up, and that's where I felt all my tension. I felt a lump in my throat. I felt dry throat, dry mouth, I felt like my voice wasn't loud enough or powerful enough, impactful enough. So my issues were always in my throat chakra. Okay, we're going to go down a little further. The heart chakra. If your restrictions, if you're getting heart palpitations, if you think about court and your heart is pounding, you feel hot, you feel sick in your heart, you feel like your heart is going to stop, you feel like your heart is going to burst, you're doing a lot of crying, a lot of like grieving. Okay, that's usually heart chakra. That's the chakra that needs to be cleared out. Okay, if your discomfort, when you think about your court orders, usually fear is the first thing that comes up. Frustration, anger, sadness, grief, that comes up as well, but usually fear is the predominant emotion when you have court coming up. So if you are feeling the fear in here, I'm going to move my camera. Okay, right below your sternum. Okay, right here. Okay, so a lot of you don't know this, but I also have an abdominal therapy practice close by. So right here, right in that soft part, it's above your belly button. It's above your belly button, it's below your sternum. That is where your solar plexus chakra is. This is where I have all my issues. This is linked to self-esteem, self-worth, feelings of worthiness, feeling like you're not good enough. That's where all my stuff is stored, because I have this is where I'm triggered, because when I get my court orders in the mail, what the judge does is they include a lot of narrative about you and your character and your they do like a personality assessment on you, because these judges are brilliant people. They know how to assess personalities, right? They're psychic. They have crystal balls. They know exactly what you're thinking and what you're feeling. They know what your motivations are. They know your value system. They know everything about you because they have their little crystal ball. And so for me, in my case, all 3 judges I've had have used the crystal ball totalitarianism to decide, to make their decision not to take my child away. So they'll say things like, Monica doesn't commit to what she starts. She didn't finish her education. Monica, there was the judge said, I don't know how to provide stability for my son. So there's a lot of ad hominem attacks. That's ADHOMINEM. Judges engage in ad hominem attacks towards parents because they don't know how else to justify taking the kids away. So what they do is they point out the parents' personality flaws, and they use personality flaws as a basis to make their decision. And so for me, when I read my court orders, and again, I'm 40 years old, I'm still human. I still have issues. I still have like traumas and old wounds, you know. And so my whole childhood, I grew up thinking I was not good enough, that I was not worthy, I wasn't deserving of things that other people had. And that was like the running narrative in my brain for like most of my life until recently, until I start clearing it out. But still, you're still going to be triggered. Even if you're healed, people are still going to trigger you. And so judges are very triggering people. They're trigger happy lunatics. And they do this on purpose, because this is the marketing strategy of family law. Okay. Whoever invented the marketing strategy of family law, I wish I could hire them for my business, because one thing about family law, they have the most brilliant marketing strategies. If they could punch you into it where you're weak, you know, if they could hit your self-esteem and they could hit your self-worth, it will naturally disintegrate the parents' will to fight effectively. Okay. And it creates dependency and codependency and all these other issues. That's another live stream. So this is where I'm feeling all my suffering, is right here all the time. Okay. I don't feel it here. I don't feel it here. My brain, I have such a clear head about everything. My stuff is here. I feel like I've been punched in the stomach, or like punched above the belly button area. Okay. Now, there's two more areas where you might be feeling it. You might be feeling it like in your lower abdominals. So some parents, a lot of parents have told me that they have lost bladder control in the family court. They have menstrual issues, cramps, bowel issues, you know. I mean, just tons of digestive issues. They can't digest their food. They're urinating all the time. So there's a lot of issues that develop there when people think about their family court, the upcoming court date, or the impending orders that are coming in. So so we covered that. So two areas, there's two chakras that are in that system, that digestive bowel bladder system. So I want you to pay attention to where you're feeling it. Now, you might feel it in other, multiple places. You might get headaches and heart palpitations and digestive upsets, but pay attention to one. Where is the predominating epicenter of your discomforts? Okay. So what I want you to do, and again, I get all my stuff right here. This is what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Okay. This is the exercise. And let your mind just do nothing. Don't even think about my live stream right now. Just think about nothing. Any thoughts that approach you, just like acknowledge them and then send them away. Now, you can do this on your own. You can take notes on this exercise and practice it by yourself. I recommend music. And again, let your mind do nothing. Okay. If you've ever done guided meditation, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if not, I encourage you to do guided meditation. Okay. Now, what you're gonna notice is that you're putting a lot of awareness into that area that's hurting you. Okay, like your throat, your head, whatever. What I want you to do, I want you to assign a color to that location in your body. It might be orange, it might be gray, it might not have a color, but assign a color and assign a shape. Maybe it's rectangular, maybe it's a blob, maybe it's not a shape, maybe it's like liquid. Okay. And I want you to assign a temperature. Maybe it's hot, maybe it's cold. Okay. So what you're doing is you're giving a shape, you're giving a structure to this pain and this blockage in your body. Now, I want you to take this shape and the impact it's having on your body, and I want you to turn the volume up on the discomfort. Okay? If it's a lump in your throat, make the lump bigger. Make the lump more uncomfortable. If it's a headache, turn the temperature up on that headache. Turn up the dial to the absolute highest that it can go, and allow it to be uncomfortable. Allow it to hurt. And breathe. So now this section of your body is really feeling the impact of this restriction. So just keep breathing. And this is what I want you to say. Say to this part of your body, you are welcome here. You are allowed to be here. You belong here. Okay? So what happens is when we have these issues in our bodies, our heart palpitations, our headaches, our digestive issues, we try to block them. We take pills, medications. Instead, why don't we ask this part of our body, why are you here and what do you need to teach me? Okay? So for me, the reason I get these issues in my solar plexus chakra, in my upper abdominals, is because my narrative from when I was a child was I'm not good enough. Okay? And that's why the court orders are so triggering, because it reactivates those limiting beliefs. And so what I need to learn is that I am good enough. Okay? So what is this trying to teach you? If you've been silenced in the court because your voice wasn't important and your voice wasn't heard, what is it that you need to learn about this? Is it that you do have a voice? That you do have value, to what you say does have value? So this is an exercise I do independently with my one-on-one clients. But find out what this body part, what this ache or pain or palpitation has to teach you. Okay, because it's there for a reason. Our bodies are our friends. Our bodies are helpers. Okay, our pain is a helping mechanism. It's there to serve us. Okay, we can't ignore it. It's welcome. It's allowed to be there. So what happens is when you just allow something instead of fighting it, instead of taking pills and being like, oh God, I hate my stomach, I hate coffee, we get into this like negative talk. The court gives me a headache, it's just we blame, we just get into like a very low vibration when we have these body pains. But what if we just gave love and acceptance to these issues? What's going to happen is it's going to dissipate over time. Okay, so that's a very important exercise. Do it your way. Do it the way you need to do it to make it effective. And it might take you a few times for you to really get it. Now, I'm just going to throw in a little bonus thing for you guys. What helped me clear my throat chakra issues, because I told you that was my issue 5 years ago. No longer an issue. I have no issues. I feel so good up here all the time. Again, my issues are right here. So what helped me with my throat chakra, writing my brief, because when you write a brief, you're getting your voice out there, okay? And writing a book. I wrote this book. I believe this book is what healed my throat chakra issues. You're getting your truth out there. You're getting your word out there, okay? I encourage you all to write a book. We talk about that in my workshop. A lot of things, there's a lot of overlap here. If you're going to take my workshop tomorrow, you're going to learn a lot in this live stream. Getting your voice out there. There's ways to heal. There's so many ways to heal. It's not even funny. Great. So again, you have to do all this before you open your court orders, before you go to court. Now, the reason this work is so important is because I teach a lot of mindset work. I'd say like half of what I do is mindset shifts, mindset blocks. But my mindset hacks are great, but you have to pay attention to your body too. Okay. Mindset hacks can't necessarily always help the body. You have to still give love and support to the body. Yeah. So I'm going to do, so this is another step that I'm going to be taking today. Okay. And I encourage you to take this step as well. So we have got to gratitude. We've covered that. We're grateful. We found the things that we're grateful for. We did some clearing with our chakras. We gave healing and love and support to the epicenters of our pain and our discomfort. Now, the third thing, this is the third step, 3. I want you to grieve the loss of the court order. Okay. Now, these orders I haven't read them yet, but today I'm going to grieve. I'm going to feel the loss of not prevailing in this case. I want you to grieve the potential loss if you go to court. And a lot of people might be like, well, why would you tell me to grieve when I don't even know the outcome? The grieving is almost like a it's like a prepper, what's the word I'm looking for? Grieving will give you a head start in case you do have to grieve. Now, grieving is very beautiful work. It's very healing. That's why we do it. And crying is great. Crying is super healthy. And so I encourage you to grieve and grieve in a healthy way. What I mean by that is if you're feeling if you're feeling like you're going to harm yourself, or if you're triggered to the point where you might do something that you regret, don't do that step, okay? Or do it under supervision of a clinician. Get clinical help. Coaching is not for people who are on that cusp, okay? Coaching is for people who can still function. So the reason I don't work with moms who are unemployed, not because I have anything against you being unemployed, the reason for that is because, hang on, let me reiterate. Let me erase that. The reason, okay, now I know what I was gonna say. If a lot of, and this hurts me, but fortunately I do send them to other resources. There is other help out there for you. But when a mom contacts me and wants coaching, and I find out that she can't work because of PTSD or severe depression or severe trauma, which is very common. I think the unemployment rate in our community is probably 50%, just guessing. I probably turn away probably half of the clients that reach out. I have to turn them away. It's to protect my own liability. It's also to protect the client, because if someone can't work because they have severe PTSD, it also means that they can't have coaching, because coaching is really for people who can function. If you can get out of bed and you can go to work, then you can handle coaching. Like your psychological profile will be able to go to do coaching. If you can't work because you're so traumatized, then coaching's not safe for you, because coaching is very hard work. It's very confrontational. Coaching is very confrontational, and it's kind of like ugly healing. That's what I like to call it. If you're severely traumatized and you can't work, then your remedy, the way to get the help is to go to a therapist. Okay, so therapist is really for those who are like not yet at that functional level where they can work. So again, if you're in this category where you're not able to work because you have severe PTSD, then don't do this step. It's not safe. I mean, you could do it, but I'm not going to endorse, like, I'm not going to support you doing it, because it's a liability issue for me. So anyway, that's just my little disclaimer. Grieve the loss. Grieve the loss of your children. If you're going to take my workshop tomorrow, I want you to start grieving that alienation. Let yourself cry. Just whatever comes up, just let yourself be freaking human. Stop trying to protect yourself from grief. I don't know why we do that. I think it's a societal thing. Let yourself grieve. Okay. I'm not a grief coach. I'm not a grief expert, but allow the grief. Okay. Cry. And just let yourself be sad, okay? Let it suck. I tell people all the time, it's okay that this sucks, okay? You don't have to try to stop it from sucking. Go ahead and look for solutions, but stop trying to resist. Like, you're just fighting against, like, let it suck. It's okay for us to have pain, okay? We're human. We're supposed to feel that. We're supposed to feel pain. We're supposed to feel anguish. We're supposed to suffer to a degree. We're designed to do that because our bodies know how to take care of us when we are suffering, okay? We have mechanisms to allow for suffering. You just have to learn them, which is why people hire coaches typically. So anyway, that's my disclaimer, but allow yourself some grief. And then that way, if you don't lose your case, then it's a surprise, it's a celebration, and it's a good thing, right? So I'm going to probably cut myself off from social media for the rest of the day, unless I look at my court orders sooner. Let's see. I don't know why, but I can't access any comments. Maybe some people are commenting, maybe they're not. But my comments are hidden, so I'll probably respond to you shortly. Okay, so be patient with me. I'm so sorry that I can't can't see the comments. Thank you so much for watching. This is a very important live, and I appreciate your time. And you are all wonderful, and I appreciate you. You are the best. All right. Have a good weekend. I think it's Friday. Yeah. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.